I am absolutely delighted on this Sunday morning to bring a great friend of the Customs House, one of our honorary fellows, a guy who has been wowing audiences at the Customs House for a decade now. He is, of course, our sun dancing superstar, Mr. Joe McElderry. Good morning, Joe.
Hello. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm great. We eventually can see that the pandemic, hopefully, is coming to an end, which means that somebody's going to appear on our stage.
I know. I can't wait. I mean, obviously, we've been having conversations behind the scenes of when, obviously, we can do it and when we'd be allowed. But it finally seems to be like we're getting some light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm going to be there on the 20th of May, 21st of May and 22nd of May. And I can't wait. So that'll be my first official shows back out of lockdown. Hence why we called it Joe McElderry Unlocked.
I've got to say, of all the people that I've know in the business, you have maintained your presence online throughout the whole pandemic. You've done so many things, haven't you?
Well, I mean, when it first began, I think like everybody else, it was a little bit like, this has never happened before. And I kind of had never had that amount of time off before. So for the first 8 weeks of the first lockdown, I thought, you know what? Okay, this is all right. I can handle this. This is fine. I'll spend a bit of time at home and, catch up on myself, get a bit of rest and use it as a kind of time to recharge. And then when I saw that it was going to go on longer, I thought, you know what? It's time to just try and create everything that I do in a kind of online sense, because I could feel that it was going to go on longer than we'd all kind of anticipated. And so that's what we did. We turned the living room into a mini television studio. It looks like a little mini This Morning set, cameras, microphones, mixing desks. And I just kind of created online shows and did them every weekend from home. And just, and I know it sounds silly to say this, but it was nice for me to do something as well. Because I know obviously what I do is my job, but at the same time, it is my hobby as well. So to have that taken away and not be able to do it, I missed it just as much as people miss going to a restaurant and a pub or whatever. I was like, I miss doing what I do because I love it, So I've been lucky that people have wanted to see the stuff that I do online. But you know what? I can't wait for a real audience now. I'm ready for it.
I remember the excitement as we were doing what the only thing anybody could do during lockdown was the endless walks, and occasionally we'd bump into each other around Shields. And I remember the excitement in your little eyes when your slash curtain, the glitter curtain, had arrived to go across the settee, across the sitting room to give you a background. And it does look good, the quality, but you've learned all of that technology self-taught, haven't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I text the guys who I all work with, on tour and stuff, and I just said, tell us everything that I need to make this happen to some sort of quality from home. But then again, obviously they told us the equipment that I needed, but I pretty much had to learn how to do it, because when you're there on your own and something goes wrong, by the time you ring somebody to find out how to fix it, it's too late. So I did have to just do it myself. And yes, the Amazon glitter curtains, from Amazon Prime. I took full use of Amazon Prime. We had a different curtain every week and fancy dress, and it was just, it was like a walking pantomime every week. When I'd walk through the glitter curtain and have some outrageous outfit on, making a fool of myself as per usual.
Is it true the Amazon guy knocked at your door the other day to ask if you were all right because he didn't have any parcels for you?
He said, what, you haven't ordered a glitter curtain in 2 weeks, what's going on?
but Joe, you didn't just sing. I mean, we all know you as somebody with this fantastic God-given voice, but you also started to do celebrity interviews, and with the Ledge, that is Nana Hilda, you did problems. People could contact you with their own problems, and you discuss them. So you took this as an advantage or an opportunity to demonstrate that you could do other things, not just sing.
Yeah, well, and I suppose it wasn't an intentional thing of thinking, that's what I'm going to do. It was just more thinking, right, okay, to do things online and kind of keep the momentum with it, it has to be things that are quite quick and capture people's attention, but also not go on for too long, because it's different to sitting in a venue and seeing something right in front of your eyes, It's like the television. Sometimes you watch it and then sometimes it's on in the background. So I was just trying to find fun things to do and different things. And the celebrity interviews and the thing like what I did with Grandma Hilda, that was more because I knew all of the people like me who work in my industry would be sitting around doing nothing and probably would be feeling the same as me. And I thought, let's just get online and just talk, And half the time, we're all talking a load of rubbish, but surprisingly, sometimes people find that more interesting than the serious things that we all talk about.
Some terrific interviews. You've definitely got another day job there when you want it, and you also created new things. Like I saw a fantastic backdrop to Oh Holy Night that you did at Christmas when you went down to the coast and you filmed that.
Yeah.
It looked beautiful.
Yeah, well, again, obviously I was working on new music all throughout lockdown and stuff, and then when Christmas came around, I thought about doing, shall I do an online Christmas show? Shall I do an online Christmas stream? I was thinking of ways to kind of mark Christmas because I knew obviously it was going to be a different Christmas for everyone. And it was actually my mum that suggested it. She said, you know what, there's been some incredible sunsets and everybody's been talking about the sunsets down at the coast. So why don't you shoot like a mini kind of live performance down on the cliffs? So we went down at like 4:00 in the morning I think it was like November time. And the wonderful Wickham boys, who I know you guys at the Customs House work with, who are local lads who are fantastic. Yeah. They shot a music video, and honestly, it was actually quite annoying because it was so picturesque and beautiful that everybody thought it was a green screen. So everybody was like, "Oh, that's really clever what you did with the green screen." I'm like, "No, that's where I live. That's where I live, and that was a real sunset, and sunrise." And people were like, "You're lying." Yeah. But we were so lucky with the weather that it looked fake. It was that beautiful.
It's stunning, absolutely stunning. I know you nearly froze your butt off doing it, but it was well worth it, and something that will be captured forever, and that's the brilliant thing about everything that's digital. The last time, because we're talking about what you've been doing during lockdown, the last time I heard you on Sunday morning radio was when you were on the Michael Ball show, and you were talking about your latest hit, and it was a departure for you because it had a little bit of a country feel. How did you come up with Baby Had Your Fun? How did you come up with the idea?
So I work with a great friend of mine who I've worked with on quite a few albums of mine called Helen Bolden, and we were due to start recording the week that lockdown. I was in London, and the last show I did was at Cadogan Hall, and the next day I was due to go in the studio for a week, and we're going to do some writing and recording for a new album. And obviously the next morning Boris made his announcement that this was what was going to happen. So I got the train back to Newcastle. I said, you know what, Helen, we'll cancel the studio, but let's just do it online. We'll do. So then I didn't even know what Zoom was at that point. We only kind of found out what Zoom was about 2 weeks in, I think. So we did a couple of FaceTime sessions, and we'd already worked on this at her house a couple of weeks previous to that. And it was an idea. And we finished it off on Zoom. And then I said, you know what? This is a really feel-good song. I want to release this. So the plan originally was we're going to release it after the summer. And then obviously, the Northeast kind of went into the local lockdown. So it made things difficult of not being able to move around. And then when we were able to kind of get into the studio and record it, we did and shot a video. And I'm a massive fan of country music, and I'm really inspired by loads of artists, like Carrie Underwood, the Shires, those kind of artists. And we just pulled on those inspirations, but kind of kept it still pop and high energy and that kind of fun element of pop, but just with some country twists in it. And people loved it. Like I was kind of just doing it and was just putting out something that I loved. And to see the reaction to it and see how much people jumped on board with it was really special because, I think whenever you write your own music and you put it out there, it's always a little bit more nerve-wracking as to whether when the criticism comes in, it's a bit harder to take if you've written it.
well, while you've been talking, I've been putting on my cowboy boots and my Stetson, and I think we should let our listeners have a little dance along to Baby Had Your Fun.
fly.